or the helpless, why can't it actually reflect how white people should be responsible, in fact, to help black people? Why can't it be, in fact, portrayed a positive imagery of how the relationship could be as good if you're black and if you as a white person actually have a relationship with the black people, right? So we think that the depiction of the opening women doesn't necessarily characterize you. What are the 2 hour spots telling you as an audience, and what are the messages that you imply through those kind of movies, right? We listen as citizens of the house. We also regret the domination inside white people in the movie industry. That's why we support the blind side and the help, in which the black characters are actually black characters themselves, and not like the Prince of Persia, in which the Persian people are actually played by the white people, right? So we think that there's no such thing as discrimination. We think that these kind of movies does not necessarily practice discrimination, it's that all those Hollywood movies, right? But third rebuttal is coming to the government side of the house. First, they think that this is actually an unjust kind of portrayal because you just portray white people as the hero, and you actually disempower black people because you make it seem like these black people are always going to be helpless and they're always going to need help from the white people. We don't think so. We think that empowerment doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be done in a very individualistic ways. That you have to struggle yourselves. You live inside society when you have to build a connection between other people. That you as a black person could also reach out to the white people. You can communicate with them in a good relationship. But secondly, he argues that the portrayal after my rebuttals should be that the black people are actually the heroes, and it can never be that the white people are the heroes. Why can't we complement each other? Look, not all black people are probably privileged. Not all black people are actually strong. Not all black people are educated. They can advocate the black-white movement or black-white matters inside society. So most of the time, so we think that it's actually fair for us to just depict reality. Yes, probably sometimes you are helpless, and probably sometimes there are cases where you as white people acknowledge how helpless they are and to help them in the very first place. We don't see why the reports are going to be the negative in the very first place.
The excuse saying that there should be a common word is just the same saying that the black should not be represented in the parliament because the white plus community can help representation matters as a whole point.
It is the rhetoric that exactly says that in order for you to, as white people, to work inside parliament, you have to have black people hand in hand inside parliament, and you can finally help them because they can voice up inside the room. 2 things that I'm going to bring as an opening opposition. The first thing, why the plot of the movie actually depicts a positive imagery to encourage the relationship of the people of the white and other races. Second of all, why it helps reflect the white races of the privilege they actually have, right? First of all, let's talk about how the plot is actually portraying a positive imagery that white and other kind of races actually can play. Mind you, that these are not just 5 minutes of flashes inside the media. These are actually portrayal of movies that happens 2 hours with a very huge elements of dialogue, plot, emotions. What are the kind of relationships that are portrayed? In the blind side, for example, the white mom that is adopting a black footballer kid is actually trying to communicate with them. She's actually asking why he's passionate in football and why she's not into education. And the reasoning are actually very understandable for people and can move people's heart. Reasoning such as that he, as a black people, is actually lived by his mom, for example, and that he lives in a gangster neighborhood, and that he doesn't show interest or he's not exposed to the environment of education. These are the kind of reasonings that portray how white people and black people can find a ground understanding if they try to approach each other and if they try to talk each other, right? So why is this important? The thing is what's happening right now is that the media is always portraying trivial things about black people, right? About the massive amounts of news in media that showing black people are criminal. Black people are actually shooters, for example, that they're gang members. We think that this can actually depict that the only way you can reach communication and understanding between each other is you as white people trying to break your prejudice and start a communication with those black communities in the very first place. So these very detailed emotional depiction, plot depiction, dialogues actually helps you to understand that how you as a white people can build such a positive imagery of relationship with those black people. We think that is important, and it's actually the only thing that you can contribute to stable media attention, right? But second of all, let's talk about how it can actually help the white to reflect, because what they're saying is that it's going to put the the black community is in a very evil narrative. Look, most of the time, these movies does not only include the white as the hero, but a lot of times they're also the main perpetrators of evil that has in the race. Most easy example, avatars, the one that actually explained the blueprint by the white people. Same goes with the example of the hell, that when the maid is actually exploited by the white masters, they put in a very, very ugly room and an ugly bed, and is actually kicked and punished right after the white master actually find out that she is using the master's bathroom. So most of the time, this is actually a moral reflection of people. In fact, yes, probably that we as the white people are the ones that are privileged. Probably that we as the white people are the ones who are actually more capable of making change. We feel this is a reflection of a moral sense that when you are privileged, you're actually sticking to that privilege, exploiting other people and utilizing your privilege. There has to be a balanced moral responsibility that you as the white people can actually create a change, ladies and gentlemen. Because a lot of systematic discrimination and systematic exploitation is done by the white people, and it cannot be stopped unless the white people stop in the very first place. So it's actually a good positive encouragement that you as white people also needs to have a change, and does not demand like opening government to have black people to strive for themselves, to struggle for themselves. That's even more equal. We think that it's even very, very important in movies. Why? Because some people are actually saturated by the media. By the time that you black people protesting for Black Lives Matter, people protesting for hashtag of Black Lives Matter instead. When you're protesting about we shot police forces, you seem like you're actually complaining about your status quo as black people. But with emotional connections that are depicted through 2 hours of dialogues and plots, people finally listen to everything. It actually breaks the saturation of the media, and that's why this kind of crisis actually has to be celebrated between all the saturations, because finally there's other opportunity for people to be touched emotionally to see that these are not just complaints, but these are real matters we are proud to